My legacy's pretty simple. Cared more about ducks than he did about killing them. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas, born and raised in the state. In fact, I've never really left. I've had job offers in some other places, Dallas, Las Vegas, and turned them all down because duck hunting was too important to me. Definitely first memory was tagging along with my dad. We used to hunt some minnow ponds around Keogh. A lot of shooting, a lot of action, but I remember my dad sitting me kind of in his lap, got his gun with him helping me brace it and pulled the trigger and shot a duck on the water when I was probably 4 or 5 years old. That's where we kind of fell in love with the whole game of duck hunting.
Brent started hunting at 3, 4, 5 years old, and that came from my dad seeing what he hunted and then trying to transfer that experience, that knowledge, that opportunity. It was a family activity.
The biggest thing growing up was being able to see what the conservation organizations were doing on behalf of the resource, the duck, the habitat, and then the hunter as well, and combine those three things, and that's what makes up the sport. So you see the good that they're doing, and if they weren't doing it, it makes you realize ducks would be in a really bad spot. You know, your interest kind of gravitates towards that, but it really grew when I was fortunate enough to become a partner in a farm near the Biomeda area. When you have control, you can make decisions that you know will benefit ducks, and if you make decisions that benefit ducks, it usually benefits the hunting. That was a big piece of it. And doing things and kind of having that ownership led that group of ducks to want to be on your property. That's pretty rewarding. Well, the Grand Prairie book, it came out of a lunch. I got a call from Whit Stevens, who is a fellow member of the Hall of Fame, and said he's got this idea that somebody needs to write a book about the history of the Grand Prairie. I would love for you to do it. And of course, I was all in. So we did. Spent all of 2016, 2017 researching, spent a lot of time here in the museum. We covered everything from the hunting aspect to the rice farming aspect to how these communities popped up, how they're named, how you pronounce the names. And then even restaurants and social events tied around that all somehow were tied to duck hunting. But we wrote it in a style that was almost like a textbook. You could absorb small bits of information, or you could get deep into it if you wanted to, because everybody consumes things in different ways. And then we released it in 2018 and have sold every copy we printed. The people and the interest that book generated, it's nuts. It truly captured what this sport has meant to this part of the world.
I read the book cover to cover, as you would expect father to do. And even though I'd been duck hunting for a long time, there were so many things that I learned, and I think his desire to pass that information on to others is kind of what motivated him.
You know, the Grand Prairie book was critical because it told the story for all these younger guys and girls that are coming into waterfowling that would have no idea. What's so great about what he does is he's brought the waterfowling word to the community when we needed it most.
In 2010, we started Greenhead, the Arkansas Duck Hunting Magazine. Something was missing in the marketplace. Not enough stories were being told about how big a deal duck hunting is in this state and how good it is today, even compared back to 50, 60 years ago. And to be able to tell those stories, that was kind of the impetus behind it.
Greenhead magazine was developed by him at a time when you couldn't find a magazine for duck hunters. And not only does it come to us for waterfowling, but it's specific to Arkansas and the Grand Prairie and all the stories that we hear and see, and now we've got a magazine that caters directly to that.
It's a proud moment for me, obviously, for his mother as well, to be recognized that what he's doing is the right thing to be doing.
Well, being inducted to the Waterfowl Hall of Fame is not something I ever expected. As you start this transition from hardcore duck hunter to hunter conservationist, you hear these names like Hancock, Snowden, Stevens, Dunklin, and consider them friends, and now I'm going to be in a Hall of Fame with them. It's pretty mind-blowing.